I'm called Harriet Akelo, and I'm Assistant Commissioner for Adult Literacy in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Yes, thank you. Yes, this activity, where we have been hosting a team of Tanzanians who came on a learning visit to Uganda to learn about the adult literacy and community education program in Uganda. We have completed it, and what this means to us is that it has just put Uganda on the global map, whereby globally nations will now understand that Uganda has a well-established adult literacy and community education program where learning can be derived. Secondly, this means that it has promoted the brotherhood, spirit of brotherhood in the East African community, whereby a team of Ugandans and a team of Tanzanians have decided to learn from each other on how best to optimize adult literacy and community education services within the region. And I think with time, this will end up coming up with a community of practice where we shall be learning, moving back and forth from to Tanzania and to Uganda to continue learning until when we have refined the program fully. Thank you. I think that was in the financial year 2016, 2017, when Uganda started to come up with a successor FAL program. And the reason why I wanted to do this successor FAL program is that it was, I think, around in 2006 that a process review was conducted on FAL program, and the report of that process review necessitated that the program be overhauled. The program should be broadened to include other livelihood skills and vocational skills, and the program also needed to be deepened to bring in more learning activities and also to attract more men into the program. So at that time, when we were told by DVV International that Ethiopia had a much better program, or more broader program than the one we had at that time, or FAL program, that's when Uganda decided to visit Ethiopia. And our visit to Ethiopia made us to learn that, one, for a program to be effective, we need to have a community learning center. And from that community learning center, it would now be a hub for integrated service delivery. The CDOs would find spaces to conduct literacy classes, to conduct meetings for village savings and loan associations. And also in the same community learning center would be having different days allocated for different sectors to come and deliver services. For example, you can have, like, on a Monday, the health assistant is carrying out health outreaches, immunization, and health talks to the community at the center. And so this becomes repetitive, that every Monday the communities know that if you have any health issue, health questions, if you have children to be immunized, you have to visit the learning center. Then another example would be, like, on a Tuesday, there is the DEO who is coming to talk to the communities to mobilize children for primary education. And maybe on Wednesday, the CDO would come back to talk to people about mindset change education.
Connected them to the markets. They now sell directly, and also the Department of Agriculture at the district level has supported, because there is NOSIP, that is the National Oil Project. It brings seeds, quality seeds of soybeans, and we considered these groups to give them. They multiply and sell the companies, the seed companies. So at least there is a lot that we see.
ICOLO activities are incorporated through the bottom-top approach of planning and budgeting that we use as a government of Uganda. The interventions that are to be undertaken by the community learning centers, the parishes, are generated right from the lower local levels. From the village level, interventions are collected through stakeholder engagement at that level, then shared and consolidated at the parish level. So that is when now the ICOLO and the community learning centers consolidate their inputs, submitted to the sub-county and then the district level. they get into different level budgets and planning documents like worker plans. So at the community learning center, the activities that can be undertaken and funded from the community learning center are budgeted for at that level. Then at the parish level, they are also budgeted at there. Then the ones that cannot be funded at that level are forwarded to the sub-county level. Then the ones that cannot be funded at that level are also forwarded to the district level.
That are geared towards what? Fighting poverty, the community, skilling the ordinary people, so that they can be able to what? To have something to do in form of gainful employment. So one recommendation I would want to give the Tanzanian team, I want them to collaborate with their government right from the Ministry of Education, then come to the district local government, come to the sub-county local government, as up to what? Up to the community. And in those collaborations, because everywhere they have to what? To lobby, so that there is some budget for them, for the ICORE project program from the national level, district, then sub-county, to the community. And if it comes, the activities or requirements come from the community themselves, but that linkage has to be there.
One, in the implementation of the ICORE program, we did situation analysis in the community, where the communities were able to identify their problems, and those problems have guided us in developing learning units that are utilized in the adult learning sessions. So at the CLOC, among the activities is that we have adult learning sessions that take place. So through those learning sessions, and they address their issue-based learning, we've seen communities participate. And in the establishment of the community learning centers, which is one component of the ICORE program, we did the community sensitization of the meetings. One, the community is having a level of ownership to the CLOC. One is that they actually have contributed. Like at Madoa Community Learning Center, the land was donated by the community, so they have ownership. And when we look at the structure is already established, the management committee of the CLOC is a community structure, elected and managed by the community themselves. In some learning centers like Butaja, the community even contributed some materials like bricks, like stones, so we see them participate.
Agriculture is integrated with adult literacy and the learning under the ICORE program in Namaingo district in a number of ways. First of all, as the Department of Agriculture Extension, we conduct needs assessment of the participants of the ICORE program at the Community Learning Center. After conducting this needs assessment, the product of the assessment is the training needs. That is the issues which are identified during the meeting. Once we identify those issues, we come up with the training materials. We generate the training materials. We make a program for the training of the participants in the specific areas where we have identified to enable them to carry out farming as a business. So the skills that they get from the learning and literacy are used in implementing the agricultural activities. For example, these numerous skills will enable them, if we tell them spacing is of this maize is spaced at this distance, then they can implement it after receiving the numeracy and those learning skills. They can measure the right spacing, they can measure the right fertilizers, the pesticides, the dilution rate. All these require the numeracy and the literacy learning skills. So they implement them as we guide them, so that they use the skills acquired at numeracy and literacy to implement these livelihood activities, which will improve on their livelihood.
We have the success stories of individuals, and we also have the success stories at the CLOCs. Now, when I begin with the CLOCs, at least there is a CLOC that has started a business in tents hiring. And that business has come just as a result of knowing how to read and write so that they can have their records and manage it well. Then they also have DVV provided us with the megaphones and radio. So the money that they get out of that, because they have designed their things of how they charge per announcement and whatever, whoever comes to use that, the megaphones pays. And then also, because of the solar, they have a business of charging. All those ones are income-generating activities to the CLOCs. Then the individuals, they are groups and individuals. Now, in the groups, we, as ICOLEO, there is a component of VSLA. VSLA, we brought them together because they had acquired some skills in numeracy and literacy. They were able to form village saving and loan associations, and they borrowed themselves and collect. And at the end of the cycle, I used to support them to do what we call action audit. Count what they have been, how they've been lending, and bring everything together, the interests, and know how much each star has made. That is a share. A star is, that is the point they use to know how much you've saved. So those points broken down, each person will know how much interest they have made with their savings at the end of the cycle. So that one, now we were encouraging them because we went and trained them on how to come up with smart saving goals and then also saving plan. Now, each individual in that group, in that CHEG, Community Empowerment Group, we used to follow up because you gave us your goal at the beginning of the saving cycle. After you have shared out, we want you to buy exactly or to invest the money in what you said. So those ones who had stated, I am going to buy goats, I want 3 goats, at the end of the saving cycle, we ensured that they buy those 3 goats, and some of them, those goats have really multiplied, and they are okay. And then we also had groups of in agriculture. They were doing soybeans. Before the numeracy and literacy skills, there was a lot of cheating and the middlemen, all those sorts. But after we gave them these skills, they are no longer selling to middlemen.
To our Tanzanian counterparts, I wish the following. One, let this partnership continue. Our doors are open, and we expect them to take the learning points and go and implement it even better than what they have observed in Uganda. Because we have seen this happening, that after visiting Ethiopia, we have seen Ethiopians coming through their embassy and sometimes going direct to the CLC to learn. And they have found even new ideas that Ugandans have put onto the lessons that we had learned from Ethiopia. So to my Tanzanian colleagues, let's remain partners, let's remain in this brotherhood that we have started so that we can optimize the services that we are delivering within the adult and community education. Thank you.